Alright guys, welcome back to This Fella J Mo's Productions. I'm your host, This Fella J Mo. Welcome to episode 11 of our Seattle Mariners franchise here. So right now we're sitting at 16 and 18. This episode I'm only going to be playing the Angels series just because I just did a Tampa Bay series and I did that alone. So just kind of even it out and make sure I'm able to do this Baltimore Cincy road trip all in one. I'm just going to do the final game of our short little quick homestand right before we jump back on the road. So that being said, I'm going to talk about some things real quick since I have, some more time too in this video or in this episode. So really I wanted to talk about a couple things here. It's like really, as the season progresses and as it goes longer, you really want to get a good evaluation of your players going into the trade deadline, going into, month recaps after a month is over, or even just as the season goes on. Stuff like this is what you want to avoid, and I'm going to show you. See how right here we have Chris Iannetta, who has 80 at bats, 4 home runs, and 19 hits or 19 RBIs with 200 or a 250 average. Sorry, I'm trying to talk really fast and it's just coming out bad. So anyway, I'm not really paying any attention to any of that besides the at bats. See how he has 80 at bats this season, and in his career he has 2,600. Okay, so he's established. He's established himself in the major leagues for 9 years, and he's a proven player. Okay, so here's the thing, and I like this how they do this when I sim. Sean O'Malley is my bench player. Okay, and he already has 62 at bats. Just to put that in perspective, Nori Aoki is a starting left fielder. He has 101, and Sean O'Malley is one of my bench guys, and he already has 62. So that's great. Sean O'Malley's 28 years old. As you can see, he's not really established in the MLB. He only has 120 career at-bats. And really, 500 to 550, somewhere in there, maybe even 600 for like a leadoff guy is the typical number of at-bats you're going to get in the season. So as you can tell, you really have to handle these young kids and these young players with kid gloves. Because, as you see, he has 120 at-bats and he has a 308 average, but that's not even near half a season worth of baseball, of at-bats. So, most of these, they could just be luck. He could be having a bunch of blue hits, and that's why his average is so high this year. So you really have to pay attention to that. So what I'm going to do here is to get a better evaluation. Most of my bench players, besides Daeho Lee, and I don't know what I'm thinking with him right now. He's really just a lefty specialist at first base, platoon player with Adam Lynn, since Adam Lynn doesn't hit lefties well at all, as you see there, and he is just declining even more. I want to give Steve Clevenger some at-bats here against righties, since he hits righties pretty well, better than Chris Iannetta, that is, and Chris Iannetta is hitting like 212 or 222 against right-handers right now. So I'm going to go ahead and give Clevenger some at-bats in there, and I'm going to see how he fares. I'm going to bump Lind up above him. And then, other than that, Tommy Pham for 89 at-bats for me in 28, and again, 250 at-bats really in a career. That's fine with me. I'm going to let him sit on the bench for now and have an at-bat, or a couple at-bats, maybe a couple times a week, and just kind of get a better evaluation of him there. So, that's like what I said, you really want to pay attention to these, like, number of at-bats. See, like, Gurriel has 33 career at-bats, and he's hitting 242. So he could just be having bad luck right there. Whereas Robinson Cano has had 6,600 career at-bats, and he's hitting 306. So he's a good hitter if he has that many at-bats, and he's hitting 306. So I hope you kind of understand what I'm saying here. And I'll show you, like, another example. Nelson Cruz has 4,200 with 250 home runs. So he's a good home run hitter. He's not just squeaking one out every now and then, and he's hitting 273 in his career. So you obviously know he's a good hitter. Whereas like most of these other guys, you have to handle them with kid gloves. Like if they're not established, like Sean O'Malley here, and he has 120 at-bats with a 308 career average, you can't just throw him into your lineup every night and expect him to produce up to his 308 career average. That's just ridiculous. That's not going to happen. That's not really going to happen in this game or in real life. So you really have to handle these these guys with kids gloves. Like I said, that's really why I sent Marte down, just to give him some more minor league at bats. He had 83 at bats this year at the big league club, and he was hitting 205. And last year he had 219, 220 at bats basically, with a 283 average and a 351 on base and a 402 slugging. So I just kind of just wanted to give him a break, just kind of like take some pressure off of him and just let him like find his swing again and all that stuff. So as far as that goes, I do think I'm getting a good evaluation right now on Aoki. I mean, really the only thing that, for me, that's keeping him in this lineup is his on-base percentage. I mean, that's really it. I mean, he has one of the better on-base percentages of this team. I think Kyle Seager's leading the team with like a 386, and Martin has over 400. Well, he actually has 380 now. So really, I'm just looking for straight on-base percentages. I mean, when I do my lineups, I have high average, high on base, high average right here. My third hitter is like leading the, up there on the team with average on base and slugging, and then it's really slugging, and then I'll just kind of like mix it in. I'll put a high average here, a high average, high on base here. It's just stuff like that. At the bottom, you kind of just, that's the year where you just kind of throw people in. But towards the bottom, your 8-9 guys, you always want them to have high on base percentages too, because I mean, if you have a high on base, then you have a high average and a high slugger with Martin, and then it just reboots, just restarts. So that's really all I kind of wanted to talk about. I don't really have anything to talk about as far as pitching goes right now, but that's really like kind of like my strategy and something that I think you guys need to know, because I mean, like I said, Robinson Cano has had 129 at bats, and he's hitting 233. Now, if this were Sean O'Malley wouldn't be playing in the lineup if he was hitting 233 with 129 at bats. Okay, but this is Robinson Cano. He's had 6,683 career at bats, and he's a 306 career hitter. So we know he's just kind of struggling right now. We're going to give him some more time. As you can see, I adjusted his pants and I made them high socks to kind of switch things up for him. So that's really all I want to talk about. I do think that's important, and that is very important in real life, but I kind of want to take that into this video game to make it as realistic as possible, like I said I would, and with my franchises and how I'm going to run them. So that's really all I have for you guys right now. This next game, we are taking on the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim, and we have Nate Carnes. I think this guy is going to be a real good pitcher for us. He did amazing in AAA, and I'm really hoping that he can bring that to the big league club and really provide a spark down there in the 5th spot. That's what I'm really hoping for him to do, because I think Paxton, his end of season stats might be right around there, a 350 to a 380 ERA with like a 1.3 to 150 whip, and I'm really hoping Carnes will have a low 3 to mid 3 ERA with a 120 to 150 whip. I'm really hoping that will be the case, because I think Walker will probably have like a 375 ERA with like a 350 whip, and then these two guys are studs. So that'll really be set. But if that will be good, all I really need to do then is just clean up the bullpen and kind of weed everyone out who's not being productive, and find someone else if I need to. But that's down the line. So let's go ahead and play this game against the Angels here. Carnes taking on Nolasco at home. Final game of the homestand before we head off onto the road against Baltimore. So I'm going to go ahead and play this, and I will be back right after this game, after you guys see the highlights. Alright guys, on the mound for us today we got Nate Carnes. Decent stats in 9 1/3 innings with 10 hits, 4 walks, and 11 Ks. Really looking to be a big impact guy for us in the 5th spot of the rotation. Looking to do well today against the Angels, who have a tough lineup. He got roughed up in the 1st inning here. After we had runners on the corners, Mike Trout had a weak ground ball to get through and to score a run. So it's 1-0. And then after they pulled a double steal, and the runner got thrown out at 3rd, after about a 12-pitch at bat to Choi, he just launches one out to right field. Looked like a low changeup. I thought it was a little low, but I guess he just golfed it out. On the mound for the Angels, Ricky Nolasco. Decent stats, not great. He's getting paid a lot of money, so they would hope that he has a little bit better stats than that. We didn't get a hit until the 3rd inning here. and with 2 outs, Aoki ripped one into right center field for a triple. Didn't get him in though, per the usual. Bottom of 5 here. Adam Lind just ropes a double in the left center field. They had the shift on him, so he poked through that hole out there in left center. He's had a good year for us. He's slugging the ball real well, providing some steady offense against right-handed pitchers. As you can see, the double leaders for our team right there. Steve Clevenger comes up with Lind on second after the double, and on the drop third strike, Lind advances to third. Smart base running there. Good fundamentals, good sound baseball for us. Bottom 5 with the runner on third. Gutierrez up at the plate with 1 out. Drives one to deep right field, and it's actually going to cut out right here, but the runner tagged up and scored. And then in the next half of the inning, or that next inning, I should say, Albert Pujols does what Albert Pujols has been doing for years. Launches one to chase Carnes out of the game. In comes Drew Storen making his Mariners debut. After a couple of hits, he got hit up a little bit. Runner on third, and Trout uses his speed on a little swinging bunt to get the run in, and that chases Storen out of the game. Ryan Cook comes in, and he shoved for a little bit. I think I had him in for an inning and 2/3, and then Furbish comes in, and on the first batter he faces Cliff Pennington, launches one over the wall to hit a home run on him. So by this point in the bottom of the 8th, it's 8-1. Gutierrez comes up and launches one out to deep left center field for his 7th home run of the year, trying to get the Mariners to have a little fight and have a little pride and not just get blown out here by the Angels. So a couple batters later, after a Nori Aoki double, Martin grounds out the middle to get Aoki in, and that was really, I think we got across another run after Martin stole second base. Seager flies out to right field, and then Trout's going to want to take that back. Always try and force throws because you never know what's going to happen. And right there, he throws it into the dugout, which gets the run in. And this was the last out of the game, and I can't tell you how many balls I hit that were exactly like that. Robinson Cano had about 3, and he's had about 8 this past week that have been exact that. So there you see the box score to wrap up the game. Alright guys, so as you guys can see, 4-8 loss against the Angels in the series opener. It wasn't an ugly game. They had 3 home runs. Trout had an error to give us a run. We just didn't hit the ball. The offense didn't come through yet again. Martin had 2 stolen bags. Bullpen got hit and hit hard again. Storen did decent, gave up a run on 4 hits and 1 and a third. Carnes, he didn't do terrible. He did enough to keep us in the game and give us a chance to win. 7 hits, 4 earned runs, and 5 and a third, but the offense just was not there until about the 8th inning. So it was kind of an ugly game. So let's try and right the ship here. We got King Felix on the mound. Mela's no longer hurt in AAA, so King Felix does just that, gets us on track. Hopefully we can get this momentum and really get it going here. Gurriel 1 for 3, Seager 1 for 3, Lynn 1 for 3, Aoki 1 for 2. So not a lot of hits. Really relied on the home run ball today in this game. Cano got caught stealing. I don't know why he's stealing. 8 and 2/3 for King Felix, 7 hits, 2 runs, 2 earned runs, and 6 Ks. Diaz with his 8th save, just a third of an inning for a 2.91 ERA. So good to see him really being consistent now. And series finale, we got the win, 6-4. We had Iwakuma on the mound, 1 for 5. Martin, 2 for 3. Gurriel, 2 for 4 for Cruz, 3 for 4 for Cano, 1 for 3 for Iannetta, and 2 for 4 for Aoki. Aoki's really starting to get it going here. Gutierrez struggled again. So that's really going to wrap it up for this episode. I know it's a long episode because I had a lot of talking before the series. So that's really it for the episode. I hope you guys enjoyed. In the next video, for the road trip, quick road trip before the long homestand, will start right after this. So, alright guys, thanks for watching.